Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. I am Protomario, and today we are reviewing Bleach, the Third Phantom. The footage is available thanks to Honest Tom 23. He is my colleague and he works for me by recording my DS games that I play for the footage. So if you want to see more footage or LPs that he does, head on over to his channel, Honest Tom 23. Now, continuing on, Bleach the Third Phantom is a DS game that was released much later than several of the Wii games that were released and several of the things that were released. It was released in North America September 15th, 2009, so it isn't exactly the latest release, but it definitely does include a good number of the people in the game. Some of the things that are available in the game are enemies such as the Espadas, but it does follow an arc of two separate spin-off characters that you control. The two Shinigamis are Matsuri Kudo and her twin brother Fujimura. You can obtain positions in the 5th Division under the adoptive father, Sengen Suzumami. Jeez, man, my Japanese is just absolutely terrible. You'll have to excuse me, but the point is you're going to be in the 5th seat. And if you know anything about Bleach or how the show goes and how the things play out, Aizen is going to be your squad leader. Aizen, once more, being the manipulative, evil man that he is, he will progress the storyline, and your characters will continue on, as always, playing through the game. This game is not like many other Bleach games because it is not just a straight fighting game, but rather a tactics game. Much like Tactics Ogre Battle, and things of that nature, Final Fantasy Tactics. So if you like games like that, you might want to give this game a try because it is very tactical. And while different things do affect different outcomes on the game, such as, certain people having certain abilities over other people to be a bit stronger against a power-based foe or a speed-based foe, mostly the tactics in this game are going to be handled between the battles, the special moves, and what exactly you're going to be using, as well as the counter rate. Some of the people on your team will be supportists, other ones will be pretty much the attackers and the brute force, but the main essential of this game is that it is just a tactic turn-based game. Now, while the storyline will be progressed through cutscenes every now and then, you'll be able to make decisions in the cutscenes and see the past, where Hitsuyaga might be doing something, or Jin might be doing something, and you might help them out by giving them food or water or something, or you might protect them from a very powerful hollow back in the day. So you can see here you're going to be playing with memorable captains, and it does pay off to actually have watched the story arc of the Rancor arc storyline, because it allows you to understand what exactly is going on. Bleach the Third Phantom doesn't exactly pander to the easiest of difficulties, because if your main character or your brother or sister dies in the tactics part of it, it kind of is pretty much a game over. However, depending on your person's individual skill, Soul Slayer's ability, you can generally use some special abilities to get the upper hand against the Hollows. But that doesn't mean that the Hollows can't also do the same exact thing. Now, while most battles will be taking place in the Soul Society instead of Hueco Mando, it doesn't make it any less of a challenge. However, most of the Hollows are generic at first, being those grubby little ones that fire explosives, a frog face, or something similar to that nature. Later on, you'll be encountering Hollows like the Grand Fisher, and extremely powerful Rancors, and even Espadas such as Grimjow, Jaggerjax, and Ulacora Schiffer. So, if you're into Bleach and you're really loving tactics games, this is the game that you may want to pick up. I mean, as you can see from the footage, there's not too much else going on here except for your thoughts. So, if you're a very good tactician, if you're very adept at leveling up your people and using them in very creative manners to destroy the enemy, then perhaps this is the game for you. However, if you're really into fighting games and you loved all the other Bleach games and you just want to hack and slash down hollow armies over and over again, this game isn't for you. So don't get it, because you're not going to enjoy it, because it's not a fighting-based game. It is a tactics-based game. Even though this does include some great cutscenes and animations between the fighters, making it a little bit less boring than just a regular fighting game, it still does drag on pretty slowly. So if you're really into fast-paced arcade-style games, this is also not a game for you. Once again, this will mainly appeal to tacticians only. As you can see, we're using several different characters that kind of died off in the Bleach series. Aizen obviously didn't, but several people like Aizen and Cayenne Domo weren't exactly in the spotlight in the Soul Society when this stuff was happening. So this separate arc story that's happening here, you can kind of see that it's really, really cool to be able to play as Aizen, Cayenne Domo, and use Nemijira and rage the seas with your trident, or use the Cayenne Kotsu and shatter the enemy. It's really, really cool using these abilities against these hollows, and it kind of gives you a side of Bleach that you didn't get to see before. So once again, if you're really into Bleach, if you're really into tactical games, this really is the game for you. And if you're not into tactical games, but you're really into Bleach, you might want to pick it up and try it. Considering its age, it's not exactly one of the most highly priced games in the world, but it isn't a game that you'll find in the $5 bin at GameStop either. So if you're going to be buying this, if you're going to be purchasing this, more than likely, you would probably only be paying roughly $10 to $20 to get to play this brand new, which isn't a bad thing at all to pay for this. This game was developed and published once again by Sega. Sega seems to handle this franchise very, very well, as it did publish the first two fighting games on the DS. Sega did an outstanding job with the visuals, the animations, and the controls on this game, and proved once again that it's very adept at making different games for different franchises work out very well. The people here seem to have put a lot of heart into this game, and it definitely looks really, really good and plays very, very well on the Nintendo DS. There's no slowdown, and most of the levels are not exactly the most difficult levels to accomplish. But do take note that, once again, it is difficult, and if one of your main characters dies, the game is over. So, being in a very lengthy battle and getting down to maybe 2 guys on the enemy team and having your main character die on you because of a critical hit and having to do that battle all over again, it can get frustrating, guys. But if you can see past the frustrations and try it out, and turns out you really love the game, then this will probably be a game that appeals to you guys. Overall, I give Bleach the Third Phantom an A-. Basically, it does deter, or transfer, or change over. I'm not really sure if it changes the saga over that much, but it does stray from the main arc plotline. And doing so, it kind of takes a good chunk of what you know out of Bleach, and adds a little bit more to it, rather than expanding on what you have already watched. So, overall, A-. Great game, fun to play, great for tactical people. Thanks for watching.